how did you get into writing and how did you specifically get into children's literature?
Manu, I have not written many books. I have written only 42 books. But in 40 years. Okay, I'm like your grandmother's age probably. So, you have written 3 in such a short period and good quality, great quality. I have written 42 books in 40 years and different genre, like some technical books initially, some travelogues, some novels. Maybe 2005 onwards, I suppose, I started writing for children. Because nowadays, grandparents don't stay with grandchildren. Okay, in olden days, there was a joint family. It's not possible today's scenario. Children miss grandparents. They substitute that to video games, and I never liked that. I said, no, children should read. They should enjoy and have simple stories. If you tell children, you should be honest, you should always tell truth, you should work hard, they will sleep. It's like a moral science class. So convert them into a story and tell them they will enjoy. I'm a teacher. So I used to teach computer science and management to my students. And it's a 1 hour class and 45 minutes I will teach. Last 15 minutes I will tell one story. My students are very successful. I ask them, I taught so many things you, technical subject like Pascal, C++, database management, which one you remember? Ma'am, we don't remember anything except your stories. That means the power of story. And the power of story probably has brought all these children, because children come, their parents have to come.
I mean, more than the children. But I get the sense, as I was reading the 2 books in the Magic series, that there's something that you're addressing to your own grandchildren, perhaps, because they live abroad, they're not part of this world. Even the stories you tell about how life used to be in the village, certain customs that there were there, you know, the way puppettes were made back in the day when you went for a summer vacation and so on. These are things that a lot of urban kids now don't see. And it felt to me that you're also writing as a grandmother for your own grandchildren. And, you know, was that the case?
Yeah, Manu is very bright. He has understood what I think inside. You know, my both grandchildren are abroad and they are in a different world. You know, one essay I have written about them actually. I taught them, I told them about Krishna Leela or Krishna and Krishna on the Kadamba tree and collecting the saris. And I told them to repeat that. She says, Krishna was a little naughty boy and he used to go and eat cheese and paneer in everybody's house. And mother never taught them good manners. So once he went to a swimming pool and took everybody's locker keys, I said, my God, this is how Krishna Leela is interpreted. Second thing, I told about Akshay Patra. That other kid told me Draupadi went for a picnic in a forest, and Uncle Durvasa came without even calling on a cell phone. He landed up, he wanted additives and they were not available, and they were in a swimming pool, they had a diarrhea, they could not come back and eat. Can you imagine if I tell my children these stories? But in my heart, I always feel this is an ideal situation where grandmother aspires grandchildren should come, stay with them, tell them the stories, what she has heard, how the way she has been brought up, pass it on to her grandchildren. This is always in my mind. I think when they are 15 or 16, they will understand the importance of that. Right now, they anglicize everything in a Western way. Christmas party was there, Krishna did not come. That kind of things they come.
But, you know, how much of it is also autobiographical? Because as much as you're writing for your grandchildren, sometimes one also feels that you're recounting, you're in the position of the child back in the day with your own grandmother. There's a bit of autobiography in this as well.
Yes, in a way, yes. Because if you have read those 2 books, that is Magic of the Lost Story, Magic of the Lost Temple, Ajji is me. It is nothing but Ajji is me. Ajji will go and ask questions. Ajja is my husband, Narayan Murthy. He doesn't talk much. Okay? So I made Ajja as a quiet and Ajji is me. And Ajji really wants to question everything. And as a child, I used to stay with my grandmother in a village. So making a papad, making a pickle, going for a wedding, and learning a cycle, all these things actually I have done. So to some extent, I brought it. And my love for history, I wanted to tell children, history is not only facts. In 1630, Shivaji was born. 1680, Shivaji died. 1707, Aurangzeb died. 1757, War of Plassey. You get bored. History should be taught in a very beautiful way with the help of the way I have written, I feel, the lost temples. How a temple is built, why it was lost, how it was recovered. It is nothing but my love for archaeology and history. I have made all those three stories which are imaginary, which is not really real. I own this piece of cloth, one imagination, one reality. So it is, you do not know where is the reality and where is the imagination.
But you make it sound easier than it is, because I know that with the magic of the Lost Temple, you actually spent years visiting sites to sort of do your own research before you wrote about it. So it isn't as simple as you make it sound.
No, actually when you want to write, I have this simple principle. You pay 250 rupees, or maybe Amazon you get a discount, I do not know. 160, 170 you may get. You pay your hard-earned money on my book. I should not cheat you people. If I have to write something, it should be so authentic. You should feel it has happened in our house, it is happening in our village, it has happened in my grandma's time, it is happening in Bangalore city. You should feel it is as if it is happening. Like any incident I take, I work hard for that. Is it real or is it imagination? If it is imagination, it should be very near to reality. So to find out step well, the real step well, which is in my mind, I took 3 years. I went to Chand Baudi, I went to Adlarni Wow in Gujarat, Rani Ni Wow in Gujarat, then Sulphur, Agasen Ki Bauli in Delhi, Nijamuddin I went. I must have searched about 10-20 step wells. The last step well was near Halebeedu, 8 kilometers from there, in Karnataka. Hulikere is the name, where I saw, I said, this is my imaginary step well. I'm converting that into real. The step well is real. And Nooni, my granddaughter is real. My granddaughter's name is Nooni, and she's exactly like that. That is real, but the story is imaginary.
And what about the new book, the Magic of the Lost Story? Was there an actual story that set you off? Or is this again woven out of many experiences?
It is woven out of many experiences. For example, there is a place known as Bappanadu near Mulki in South Canara, Mangalore district. Once I went there as a teenager, and there was a car festival, or Teru we call in Kannada. The first person who pulled the Teru was a Muslim person. And I asked him why. He said, what is this? He says, time immemorial is happening because this Durga statue was found out by my great-grandfather or someone in ancestry. And it has been installed in order to thank our family. Every year we pull the first service is done by the Barry of that area. I really like that concept that, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, love everyone. Love everyone. Sarva Bhuta Daya Pushpam. That means love everyone in the community. Make them part of your life. That was one portion. Second thing is, we always say, I am so and so. Like my dear friend Shruti Khurana is here. She tells me, Auntie, you do not know how lucky you are. I said, in what way? She said, you are born in Karnataka. Beta Shruti, where are you? Raise your hand. Okay. Shruti is my young friend. She said, how lucky you are, You are born in Karnataka and your grandparents, everybody was in Karnataka. All relatives are in Karnataka. You are settled in Karnataka. You can speak Kannada and you can trace your roots. Look at me, she told me. My grandmother is from Multan. Grandfather was from Rawalpindi. They came after partition, settled in Delhi. My both parents speak not Punjabi but Hindi. And then we moved to Bangalore. We know English and Kannada. Tell me what is my root, she asked me. Is it Multan? Is it Delhi? Is it Rawalpindi? Or is it Bangalore? What language is mine? Is it Punjabi? Or is it Hindi? Or is it Kannada? Or is it English? And all my relatives are spread across the globe because of the immigration, migrating to India. They went to Australia, America, all that. She says, you do not know. When you look back, what's your root? Are you connecting to your root? And language and culture are defined together. Please remember, culture is not independent of language. If you speak Malayalam, then you know Malayali culture. If you speak Kannada, you know Kannada culture. Something are there. I don't have much time, but still I want to take 2 minutes time and tell you. Once I was traveling in Punjab because I wanted to write something about Punjab. Unless I have experience, I don't do. I went to Punjab and I wanted to use the restroom. There were no restrooms on the road. I had a Sardarni friend, Ishar Aluwalia. She's no more now. I said, Ishar, I have to use. She said, don't worry. She stopped the car and there was one farm and Sardarji's house was there. We went and said, we want to use the restroom. He said, okay, no problem. We used and came out. 2 parotha, 4 glass of milk, 2 glass of lassi were there. And I told Sardarji, what is this? He said, no, you are a mehman, you should eat it. After eating, and he insisted that lot more makhan on that and all. High cholesterol for my case. We ate. After that, Sardarji, I want to ask you a question. We are unknown people to you. And just wanted to use the restroom. You called inside your house, fed all these things. Suppose I am a thief. And if I steal something. He said, beta, just lift your head. There are 2 banduks are there. And that is called a Punjabi culture. Go anytime. Go anytime. You get plenty of food, plenty of affection, plenty of love. The way they hug, you can't even get out of that. Okay? That is Punjabi culture. Every culture has their own plus minus. Kannada culture is different. Bisibele Anna and, we have our own Bisibele Anna. We are very soft people. We don't hurt anybody. That is our culture. Every culture has their own plus and minus. Culture is connected with the language. Don't ever forget it. Don't ever forget it. And that was the motto in the Magic of the Lost Story. Go back and trace whatever it is, go back and trace your roots. Be proud of your roots. Be proud of your language. Be proud of your culture. And that is the main reason. And then I did it, I made it a metaphor with Tungabhadra. And Manu, it's very funny. To write this novel, I went to Gangamula, saw Tunga and Bhadra. Then I came to Kudali. I tested the water at Tunga, at Bhadra, at Kudali. Then I went to, of course, Hampi, many times I have gone. Sringeri I have gone. Galagnatha I have gone. And Alampura I have gone. Alampura is the only reason where Tungabhadra loses her identity, becomes part of Krishna. So all these places I have gone and enjoyed. As a kid, I was not brought up on a riverside. Nearest river for me was Varada. Varada was very dear to my heart. And when I used to see Tungabhadra, we used to have once in a year yatra there. Everybody will enjoy the food and everything. But for me, in the evening I would sit on the banks of Tungabhadra and I used to wonder where you are born, where you are going, what battles you have seen. You are the Sakshi or the witness of the battle of Vijayanagar. You are the witness of the learning of the great Vidyaranya in Sringeri. You are the witness of many things, but you cannot speak. And I used to feel that for Tungabhadra. I translated that in the Magic of the Lost Story. The entire credit of my value system, my learning, love for knowledge, and thanking river goes to my grandmother, Krishnaka or Krishna Kadim Diwan. She was the one who installed this in me. Whatever is there, beta, phalam, pushpam, patram, toyam. She used to tell, a fruit, a flower, a leaf, a water, a glass of water. You should be grateful to that. Because somebody has given to you. Be ever grateful. And gratitude is the highest form of culture. I learned from her. And that's the reason, the Aji in a way is my grandmother, Krishna Kadim Diwan.
Given how you're bubbling with so much energy, I can't help but ask, as a young girl, say around Nooni's age as she is in the books, were you one of those rowdy, restless children, or were you a law-abiding, very nice, quiet child?
Of course, a rowdy, restless child. Of course. I tell all children, think, express. I will definitely disagree, but don't fight. I used to disagree. I used to disagree with my mother. I will not accept this unless you convince me. Okay? Convince me why I should do this. And my mother had a tough time to convince me because everything cannot be convinced. Okay? And later when I became mother, I told my children, be tough with me, but they were quite easy with me. Okay?
I mean, that's why I think one of your daughter ended up losing your bangles, which you found 30 years later in a flower pot or somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
But moral of the story is feel free to sort of stand up to your parents sometimes.
You should think. You should not immediately say, okay, some mother says you should accept, okay, I don't say that way. But you should always ask questions. Asking questions shows you have inquisitive mind. You know, I am 72 years old. Somebody asked me, how old are you? I said, maybe 35, 36. He said, look your face in the mirror, look at your gray hair. I said, no, I don't look into the mirror at all because I'm not good looking anything. And it reminds me I'm old. I don't want to. As long as you have love for learning, you are young. The day you stop love for learning, you are old. Some people are old at 25 only. Children, keep love for learning. Have courage to ask questions. If something is wrong, you should question anybody. There is nothing wrong. And you should also have hard-working habit along with that. It is not only talking. If you are not hard-working, then you can't make it anything in life.
Did you ever stop going to school? We have an audience question.
Shruti knows that. At the age of 8 or 9, I was 4th class. I used to read Kannada. You know, my mother tongue is Kannada. I'm very fond of Kannada. I said, I thought one day, why one has to learn to read and write? I can read and write both, Kannada. Okay? Why should I go to school? Those books I can read at home. Why go sit whole day in the school and they will teach something which you may not like it. So best is do homeschooling and you become your own teacher. So I stopped going to school. And my mother was worried. She was a school teacher. She said, I tell everyone, come to school, look at my own daughter is not coming. Sama, Bheda, Danda, everything. She slapped me. I did not. I said, okay, you can hit. My mother used to hit at the back, not in the front. Because she was the wife of a doctor, never touched the front portion. Back is chalta hai. I was not worried because it won't pain that much at the back, I will tell you. Then my grandmother came with whom I was very, very, very close to her. She was my great friend. She told, beta, please do at least SSLC. My mother was a college graduate, in olden days. Then my grandfather gave his piece of advice. Vidya is the only, Vidya Dhanam is the only Dhanam, etc. I said, yeah, I have a Dhana, Kannada language, okay? Then my father said, I will not talk to you. I said, doesn't matter. Father was a strict man. I need not talk. And the whole family was worried. And my grandmother begged me, you do up to 10th class. We'll get you married off immediately at 16 and all. It was not a great attraction to me. Okay? After a month, my sisters and brother will go to school and I'm sitting at home and reading books. I said, no, this is not correct. I felt it at the age of 8 or 9. This is not correct. I have to meet people. I have to have friends. I have to fight with them. I have to reconcile with them. Like this. Right? Okay. No, I can't do that at home. So the best way is to, not for learning, but to have friends, I should go to school. Okay? So I went to school, then I started liking many other subjects apart from Kannada. So when I did my 10th class, my grandmother said, do you really want to study? Because everyone thought I won't study after 10th. I was 16 years old and then I said, no, the real joy is the joy of learning. I will study as much as I can. And I went on studying.
And that's how you, so much far from being a school dropout, you ended up becoming an engineer. And if I'm not mistaken, were you the first woman to work at Telco?
Yeah,
the first woman they took?
I was the first lady to enter into House of Tata on the shop floor. I was the only girl in my university. And I went back to Telco yesterday only after 50 years. And there are 9,000 young girls on the shop floor. I had tears, they had tears. The moral of the lesson is, don't stop studying, 4th class and all. Question yourself, what I am doing. What I am doing, is it right or wrong? If it is wrong, stop it. Do the right things. That's all. Life is easy. Life is simple, We make it complicated. Life is very simple. We make it complicated. If you want to be happy, you can be happy for any incident, any event. If you are unhappy, you get a gold medal, you are unhappy. You become president of an institution, you are unhappy. Whatever you get, you are unhappy nature, you are always unhappy. If you are happy nature, for everything you are happy.
Ma'am, coming back to the book, what's interesting is that although you're writing in English and it's in this format of the modern book and so on, there's something that's very reminiscent of the traditional Indian way of storytelling. You have stories within stories. For the same, in the case of the Stepwell, the first book, you have grandmother telling one version of events, grandfather has a very different version of events. It's a very Indian tradition, right? For the same episode or the same legend, there'll be multiple retellings. Did this actually come from hearing very many stories over the years from your childhood and so on? And was it a conscious thing that you would write this way, or was it?
No, unconsciously. Because I'll tell you, without knowing that I write. Because I stay in a place known as Hubli. It is a small town. And I have to ask the address of my house. You know, my father was a doctor. His name was Kulkarni. You ask anybody, where is Dr. Kulkarni's house in olden days? They said, that is the house where the girl went to engineering. Okay, then take a left turn, third house. Then I bobbed my hair. It's the same house, the girl has bobbed her hair. Okay, take a right turn and fourth house. And you know, to tell our address, it was so difficult because there is no mains and cross in Hubli. Or the house with a pink door, a house with a green door. So I thought the same object can be told in with many attributes. And that is the one how in India we live. You are a wife of somebody, you are a mother of somebody, you are a mother-in-law of somebody. Okay. Then you are a daughter-in-law of somebody, a daughter of somebody, but what you are is what you are. Krishna, wait, I'll tell you a shloka appropriate to that. Na devaki nandanaha, na devaki putraha, na yashoda nandanaha, na rukmini vallabha, na vasudeva sutaha. Krishnaha swayam Krishnaha. Krishna. It is not, he is only Devaki. Krishna's address is not only Devaki's son, not only Yashoda's son, not Vasudeva's son, not Rukmini's husband, because Krishna himself was the Krishna. So, I always believe there are many ways you can address, but inside what you are is what you are. In the story of the magic of the lost temple, the real story is Somanayaka built a temple, and in some reason, maybe due to war, it was covered with mud. That is the real Krishna, Swayam Krishna.
And then there are all these legends that come around it. We only have about 5 minutes left, and given the audience, I don't think I can, corner you for this session. We'll take some audience questions now.
No, it may not be possible today because
I think with
such a huge thing.
All
audience, you should excuse me today because they will not be able to. So many people will ask. There is no way. Some other time, I meet you. I'm in Bangalore. I can meet you in some other time. Is it okay?
Maybe from somebody up in the front.
Okay.
Where can they meet you?
Always book sessions. Always in book sessions. So instead I thought a great Vidmos is here. You know, in India, as of today, I consider there are 3 great historians who are young, intelligent and great researcher. Number 1, not in the order of merit. All 3 are okay. In the digital way, Manu Pillai, who is sitting here. Fantastic writer. Number 2, Sanjeev Sanyal, who is in Delhi. Third one, our own Vikram Sampath. Okay? And they are actually, if I would not have done engineering, Manu, I would have probably maybe 1/10 of yours in history, I suppose. Okay? No, I would have followed history because I really enjoy history. And my grandfather was a history teacher in a school. He baptized us at the age of 8 or 10. You should know, at the age of 12, you should know Karnataka history. At the age of 18, you should know India history. At the age of 21, you should know world history. No other shortcut. So let us have more questions with Manu. It's so difficult to get him. I am local person, always available. Adjust ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ.
One of the things I found very interesting is that although your stories are rooted very much in Karnataka and out of your lived experience, as I was reading it, and I'm not your target audience, I'm a 32-year-old man, but as I was reading it,
40 years younger.
It brought back some of my own memories. So when you talk about visits to the village and how, for example, there's a character who fusses about the water, don't drink this water. I remember my mother doing the same with us, saying, don't drink this water, it's unsafe. The story you have about the Muslim gentleman pulling the ratha first, in Kerala temples, you needed a Christian to purify